I have received two emails from you. Sagar, I have received your model, and Devanand, I have received your story. Okay, so Saurav, you have made two stories. So today we'll listen to it. Okay, so okay, Ananta, you are also having some ideas. All right, and anybody else? Because as soon as we'll be able to fix our concepts, it will be better. We can start working on it, so we can save some time. Tanmay, all right, very good. Anyone else? Okay, so first of all, we'll discuss uh, something in Maya, and after that, we'll discuss about the concept. Okay, so let me know that do you have any problem related to texturing you have done? You faced any problem in that? No question, right? Okay, all right. So let's go to my, sorry, let me share my screen. I guess the screen is visible to all of you. Okay. Let's go to Maya. And okay, Sagar, the first thing is the chair you have made, the orientation is at the wrong side. Can you see that? This is the orientation. Okay, so it has to be. I told you to send me the table.
But such table UV was solved. So
Because
the problem solved.
because this chair, one minute, I'll show you. Go to mesh, separate. See, if you select this face, can you see it is problematic? This face is problematic. This is not a quad. Still, UV unwrapping can be done in this, but these are problems. Okay, this is not a quad.
Means it has to be called
Yeah,
because
it
it is.
has to be quad. And you know what? So this and this should be connected before bevel.
So I
Before
thought
bevel.
it. Why I don't think about chords.
Okay, let's do one thing. I will make the same chair over here. Okay, and check how much simplified. So all of you guys, some of you have missed that time. Okay, so just check, because when in a company we're going for a modeling test, Okay, they will give something very simplified, and they will check like how you were dealing with that object. So let's make it over here so that both the sides I can see. So they will check how you are dealing with that object. So trying to make the same object. Okay. Then okay. Before this, let's come over here, and width and depth. Let's create one subdivisions. All right. And then going to offset edge loop and creating a little offset this side and create a little offset this side also. Okay. Then once again creating two more loops, and in this also creating two more loops. So I'm just trying to match the design you have made. Okay. Then I can see like in this area, in this area it is narrow, and in this area also it is narrow, and the design is looking something like this. I'm making exactly what you have made. Okay, so now selecting these four faces, just to get these four faces basically, I have given those edge loops, and now let's extrude. Okay, let's extrude, and then extrude once again. Something like that. And extrude once again. Anyway, now in this area, in this area, what I can see, this thickness is a little bit more. So this thickness. So now from here to there, and I'll just extrude it. Okay. And in your model, I can see it is a little bit like this. So the same model I'm creating. Now selecting these two, pushing it downward. Trying to mimic the design you have made. Okay, now this area you have made a hole. So see, this is wrong, isn't it? Like this side this much open, this side this much open, and this side it is like this. So it has to be any one basically, like how you want it. So what can be done? Maybe from here to there, maybe. I'm feeling like we need it this much only. And according to your design, It has to be a little small according to your design. Okay, and now first I will try to bridge it. So it's done. Okay, so I got the same chair. See, same chair, but there is no problem. Quad and everything is the same in this.
So
Now I
then,
guess you understood. Like this is not connected. This is not connected. This is not connected. Why have you deleted those things? Okay, all these should be connected. Even this one, the middle line, I kept it. In fact, this middle line is not necessary if you are not keeping it. Just to keep the symmetry I created it, it is not necessary anymore.
so the black part is of मॉडल मीन्स तो कभी कभी इशू आता है ना ब्लैक दिखता है
No, over here basically the see only one side the face is, but in front that face is not there. So over here through bridge, what I have done, uh, you also could have done in the same way. Okay, you will get something like this. I'm sure you wanted something like this, but it happened like this. Now you can make it a little bit, you know, better.
so you deleted the faces no
No, check it once again. I selected these two faces and then I applied bridge. Done.
I thought some bridges to connect to things face
No, in this also we are connecting only two faces. So because of bridge only, na, I'm getting these faces. These are all adding faces. Understood. So this is a perfect model for this design. So I am using approximately 194 polygons. It is having 8,932. Now this much is fine. All of you can do this. Now the bevel you have done, no, to make the edges smooth. Okay, for that what we should do? We should not select everything like this and do bevel. No, that's a wrong process. Okay, so let's come to one by one areas. So first of all, sorry, let's select everything. In fact, uh, in fact, for the leg, we can select everything. Yes, for the leg, all the edges should be beveled. So this connecting area also should be beveled. This we need to decide like the areas are really important and has to be hard edges. We have to do bevel like this one. Not all the loops should be beveled. No. Okay. See, only this much. I am not selecting this one. Now selecting this one. Selecting this one. Not the in between. Selecting this one. Okay. So all the edges should not be beveled. selecting this, selecting that. Okay. See, only the outer edges are selected. I'm doing bevel. Now, for these things, yes. Need to do bevel. And also these corners. Okay. Selected all the possible edges to be beveled. I have selected. Now go to edit mesh and bevel with 2 segments. I'm doing bevel. Remember, 2 segments will be enough. Okay, not more than that. Sorry, I would have missed this. Okay, and this is the width. Anytime we can change this width. Apply. So it's too small. So fraction, just increase a little bit. Okay, so just check. I'm also getting the smooth edges, and I'm using 964 polygons to get this output. Okay, and in your model you were using 8,932 polygons. 8,000 polygons extra you were using. I guess you are getting my point. So your model should be very clean, and then there will be no problem. Okay, and it will be very lightweight. And now this is very heavy. Some problems are there, and still at the same time it is very heavy. So it has to be like this. Okay, now the problem you were facing in unwrapping, like how to unwrap this. Okay, very difficult to manage things because it is already beveled.
And
Okay.
sir, beveling
Hmm.
means we can bevel different means leg separately bevel and upper part separately bevel.
See, if you are beveling at the same time, how beautiful continuous edges I have got. Have you seen that?
Yes, sir.
These are continuous edges. So if you are beveling separately, you will not get this kind of edges.
So I think एक पेंटागन बन गया.
Not a problem. Okay. So just check the individual areas, means this side also will be there. Like this.
Means in the reference it was like hard and smoothness was different. That's why I beveled it separately.
No, but according to the design, we should try how much we can continue the edges. Like what I am liking in this case, like all these edges are continuous. So if I double click on it, the entire edge is selected. So this is a good way of working. Okay, so you should get some continuous edges like that.
Okay, sir.
So selecting this one, and okay, selecting up to this much. So this also, like at the same direction it is coming, and it would come if I would have selected this also for bevel, but it's all right. But another thing you should know, like this is a quad, this is not giving a problem. Some cases you will get a triangle also, small triangle in this area, but that's not a problem, that's not an error. Okay, that can be. So there will be no problem. And some areas you will feel like, like this area. it is also creating a pentagon. So to be very honest, yes, if you are an inorganic modeler, so you should rectify all these areas later on. So now this is a quad, this is a quad. So like this, over here also, okay, this is a quad, this is a quad. So if you can remember, the legs were separate. As if how much I have selected, the legs were separate, and that is the reason all these pentagons was been created. So similarly, from here to there, I need to connect. Then now all are quads basically. There is no pentagon. Okay, so similarly in this area also I can see from here to there I should connect. So from here to there I should connect. So like that you check the individual areas and you should connect all those. Okay. um, I also feel like you have to give another loop approximately in this area. This loop can go a little bit this side. Yeah, can go a little bit this side also. And from here to there, you know, it will create a quad. See, now both are quads. So similarly, this side also, it will be a pentagon. So from here to there, now this is a quad, this is a quad. Same thing we need to do for this leg also. So like this, yes, some pentagons or triangles can be created here and there. If it is not connected, we need to rectify that way. But for inorganic models, those are not errors. Okay. You can now to unwrap it, because the border edges are increased, so little bit difficult to unwrap these things. Okay, so let us check how it can be unwrapped. So going to the UV editing, you can see it is looking very problematic, right? So what basically I'm going to do, I always prefer basically to create an up planar mapping. Okay, so this is one right now. So let's start with the base. So I'm selecting this, selecting this, selecting this. So the central line of the bevel. Okay, and okay, I'm using 2019, so I can show you that tool. So going to UV, and we are having 3D cut tool. So just double click and you will get the seam. So we are just getting the seam, right? Sorry, some other areas are also there, like so that sorry, not this one, but I supposed to select this one. Okay, over here also I supposed to select this one. Now this is entirely separate UV shell. Okay, so likewise the legs. Okay, so edge. So this leg is separate now. This leg. So we have beveled it, right? So I'm selecting the middle one. This leg is separate. This leg is also separate. So all the four legs are separate right now. Okay. So similarly, components edge. I'm selecting the middle one of the bevel, right? You can see. And for this also, I have to do the same, the middle one and the middle one. So now what happened? Let us check. UV shell. So this is separate, and all these in between areas, these are all separate. This is the enter side. Okay, all right. So now let's start with this one. So these many parts I have separated, and definitely those many UV shells I have to deal with. So selecting this one, and what can be done basically for this? We can convert it into two different UV shells, and basically the simplest way to unwrap this is, once again I am dividing it into two. Okay, so this and this. Okay, so for now selecting this one, going to the front view, sorry, this view, create plano mapping. Everything is all right, keeping it aside. Now selecting the top view and selecting these faces, create plano mapping. This is also all right. The UVs can be little, sorry. Okay, and I will just rotate it. And let's check if I can connect it over there. You can see it's absolutely looking fine. So just selecting over here, make sure these are not selected, and over here these are not selected, only this much. Okay, and over here we are having stitch together. In 2017 move and sew, over here it is stitch together, so stitch together. So now entirely this is one UV shell. So this UV shell should look like this. Sorry, UV shell should look like this. I guess you are getting my point. So this is entirely one UV shell. Similarly, the entire back should be one. This entirely back should be one. In the same way we need to do it. So I'm not doing this. Okay. So the same thing. Now let's check how to do the leg, how to deal with the leg. Okay. So let's take any one leg. So this one. Suppose this one.
Sir, in unwrapping, that in between part is very tricky for unwrapping.
This one, no? This one you were talking about. This part.
That's
spin between edges part.
This part, this part or this part.
No, sir, was separate whole UV shell is separate is there white line.
This one, no.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was talking about this only. Or you were talking about these things. Otherwise, I don't have any other separate UV shells.
Yes, sir. That both only. Means
Yeah,
the part which are
I'll show that also. Don't worry. So now let's go to the legs. So in the legs, what we are going to do first, we'll try, like in the table also, we have seen automatic mapping worked for us. So in this case also, I'm doing automatic mapping, and in this, that's good. We have got only 5 visuals, and that's absolutely fine. Let us check the sorry the scaling of it first. Okay, so it's looking like this. I'm trying to do the scaling. Okay. Now what about this one?
so if we want that checker box more small to see, then
Sorry.
so means checkerboard देखने के लिए means unwrap करने के लिए checkers box और small होते तो means वो global
That
एक्सेस
can be
काम
done.
नहीं करता.
You can make it a little bigger, no? So that also can be done.
But automatic selection will be gone.
So okay. So you can ask me how I'm understanding if the checker boxes is coming correct, because I was checking this one if it is exactly square in shape. If it is rectangular, then the scaling still not correct, and because it is square now it is correct. I was checking over there. Okay, anyway, so first I have done like this, and then there will be a little distortion in this area. If I want to connect all this, there will be a little distortion in these areas. Okay, so but all right, let us check how much. So selecting all this except this one. Okay, stitch together. So I have done it. Selecting this one except this, stitch together, and now selecting this one except this, stitch together. Okay, and in this area little small problems are there, like this one and this one. Sew this one and this one, sew this one and this one, sorry, sew. Okay, and now select the UVs and going to unfold and unfold. So similarly over here, I am not going that much basically. Okay, I don't want to ruin this. And I'm also not selecting this one. Another thing could be done basically, if you want, select all the UVs if you want it more perfect. Okay, so this could be done. Selecting this, and let me check where they have kept the line.
It's at bottom.
Where?
Align and snap.
Align, right. Okay, so let us check. Oh, this is something else, I guess. Yeah, this one. Okay, so like this, if you want it more precise, so this can be done. Aligning, now selecting this and aligning towards the left, so you are getting the straight line and left, or aligning at the center. So like this can be created. All of this can be created. So like if you are working for a project, definitely it could be done something like this. Anyway, so this is the UVs. You can see I'm getting a decent result of the checker boxes. This is looking nice. So similarly, I need to do for all the legs. Okay, and after all, I have to do something, and that is I have to select this and stitch together. So that will be, so basically the bottom face should be stitched in this area. Okay, so this is one leg. So like this, all the four legs you need to unwrap. Now the very crucial part is this one. This one, how to deal with this. Okay, so all the faces are selected, create, and do automatic mapping. Okay, so let us check. I'm just trying to make it small size. What about this one? In this, I can see still, sorry. So I'm checking over here. I'm also checking over here what kind of result I'm getting, and approximately fine. Now the next job will be selecting all the UVs. Okay, and manually I'm scaling it up until unless Okay, another way to do it basically. So select this UV shell, select this UV shell, and yeah, get the textile density of it. So 43.2552. Okay. Now select this. Rather, I should select the UVs. 43.2552. Now selecting all these 43.2552. Okay. So I have converted the textile density same for both. Let me check once again for this. Yeah, this is fine. And for this, yeah, now both are same. Okay. So what we can do right now, I am dividing. So going to UV 3D cut tool. So I'm dividing this and converting into two UV shells from here and doing the same thing over here. Okay. And let us check what we can do. So selecting this one. Okay. All right. One side is selected. Okay. And stitch together. You can see, and only one thing, this, this, and this sew. Still one is remaining. No, see, now there is no seam, right? So going to UVs, unfold. So this is a problem. I don't want it like this. So it would be better if I'm doing it one by one. So first, let's select this one, and I don't want this right now. Okay, this kind of problem can come stitched together. So this is absolutely fine. And what I will do right now, manually, I'll select this and I'll just keep it over there. Okay, this actually can go for now outer side because this space it is. Okay, for now I'm keeping it like this. Now selecting this one, this white line. Okay, and deselecting all these up to this much. Okay, and stitch together. And now you can see there is a problem, like it is looking like it's not matching. So it's not matching. So I'm just trying to match these two. So this is all right. Okay. So some of the areas you have to work manually like this. Because I don't want any overlapping in that area. Let us check. So it is going to connect over there, right? So selecting the UV and keeping it over there. You can see for a chair, we need to rectify so much, and this is the reason UV unwrapping is totally a different department in a production. But see, it can be so clean. It can be so clean. Okay, so it could be connected over here. Now let's see and save. Okay, so like this, all these small parts. So this side, this side, this side, and this side we need to connect. So suppose this side, sorry, let's select from here, this side, this one we want to connect. Check which one, this one is going to connect. Okay, so stitch together this one like this. Okay, so similarly this side, and for these things this should come, isn't it? So stitch together, let us check. Yeah, it's almost done. Only we need to, let me check if unfolding is working. Okay, it's creating some space. But it's not good, right? So yes, what we are going to do for that also, for this area also, need to select the faces how we just have done for this. And remember one thing, so this is already done, the mapping is already done, so don't move to other UV shells until unless all these are rectified, means all these are connected with the main UV shell. So all the small parts you need to connect towards the main UV shell first, and then only you will connect these things, small areas. Suppose this one. Suppose this one. So stitch together, right? And before some time we have seen this the same way we need to deal with this.
Means I understand. समझा सर. अभी सर, sir, it will take time. I got understand it.
So yeah, but yes, this is very important. This is very important. So you can see it's now it's almost fine. Now when this UV shell will come, it will create a very regular line. Okay, we should try that basically. So all the sides, all these faces will come one by one UV shell will come. Okay, and in this area there will be no UV shell, sorry, UV seam in this area. All the seam will be at the bottom in this area. Okay, so when you will connect all these areas, so all these seams will go. All these seams will go automatically. So like this, you need to deal with this, the lines. So similarly, this do automatic mapping, then connect first this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, like that. Okay, so you need to give time to it. For your 3D project also, whatever objects you are creating, you need to deal like this. Okay, how much smaller object it is doesn't matter, but you have to deal with this. If you want to be a modeler, you have to do UV unwrapping. If you want to be a texturing artist, you have to do UV unwrapping. Remember this. Okay. If you are a rigger, if the UV unwrapping is not correct, uh, you cannot do good um skin wet on your model. So don't think like if I am going to do rigging, so I don't have to do all these things. If you are not going through this process, you don't know how to do this, or the UV shells are correct or not. You are not experienced enough. You'll not come to know actually your skinning is having problem or the UV unwrapping is having a problem. Suppose you are a rigger and you are doing skinning and it's not happening, and your supervisor in production, it is going to happen like that. Your supervisor is as abusing you like anything. So that time you will be very frustrated. But if you know the UV unwrapping, then what will happen? Automatically you can come back to the UVs, and you will check the checker boxes if everything is correct. And if it is not, then you can tell your supervisor, see, the UVs are incorrect, so please take the model to the UV department. Okay, and then the life can be a little bit easy. That is the reason you should learn each and everything, though you are doing specialization on one subject. Okay, guys. I guess today uh, you understood a little bit what we are doing, guys. Like how to deal with. It can be any object basically. Today, Sagar sent that model. That's fine. And another thing you guys understood, these loops are very important, isn't it? These middle loops, the seams are very important, isn't it? If your model is correct, you are not going to get these loops, and then UV unwrapping will be too difficult for you if these loops are not correct. And that is the reason, first topology, get your loops correct, and then UV unwrapping will be very easy for you. Okay. I supposed to do something else today basically. So let us talk about that for some time, and then we'll switch to the stories. Let's create a plane, and let's create a sphere. Okay. Mm, no, Sagar, it was not a wasting of time. You asked the question. So many people, they don't ask the question. I'm sure this problem. So many people are facing the same problem what you are facing. So I'm sure all of us learned today by this simple object. Anyway, so today what we are going to do, let's go to Arnold. Okay, and I'm creating light. Okay, area light. So nothing is visible. Why? Tell me why, guys. Nothing is visible. Quickly, what's the problem? Any suggestion?
सर एरिया लाइट ओपन स्पेस में कैसे होगा? उसके लिए बॉक्स चाहिए और उसमें कुछ तो विंडो जैसा लगाना पड़ेगा.
No, no, no. Yes, because of light exposure. Correct. Because of the light exposure is 0. Okay, so let's make it 5. Let's make it 8. Or let's make it 10. Yeah, let's make it 10. And sample, let's make it 2. Okay, I'm sure you know all these things, so I will talk about only the object. Okay, I can have background for this. Okay, my object is looking like this. All right. So I'm going to the Hypershed. Going to Arnold and going to the shader. And in Arnold, we are having AI standard surface. So by using AI standard surface, I think 90% of the shaders we can create by using AI standard surface. It is so powerful material. AI standard surface. So just select the object and assign material to the selection. So right now, AI standard surface is assigned to this object. So double click on it, and I'm going to the AI standard surface. Okay. So first of all, I think guys, it would be better let's make it a little bigger. Let us check. Okay, something like this. So now, this is the first object, AI standard surface. I have assigned to it. Okay, and let's try to make this object like a plastic. So first, let's check the attributes. So this is the base color or the diffuse. Okay, so the diffuse. So sometimes in some other software, you were creating the diffuse map. Diffuse map means the color map, and you are going to use that color map over here. And this is the way in software rendering. In software shader, we have seen the diffuse option. So this is that option basically, diffuse weight. I'll just show you. Suppose this object is of yellow color. Okay, yellow plastic kind of an object this is. Okay, so what this weight will do basically, if you increase it, the hue is very much, it is the entire 100% hue is diffused, and if it's very less, see the hue is very dull. Okay, and over here also, over there also, you have seen it was 80% always the diffuse. So the same thing basically, it is the diffuse weight, and that is the color, and this is the diffuse roughness. So if you are using a texture on that object in diffuse roughness, what will happen when you will increase it, it will try to blur the entire texture. So that is basically the diffuse roughness. It will blur the texture. So most of the cases, diffuse roughness we are not going to use, because if we have created a texture, we need the texture like that only. Okay, so most of the cases we are not going to use it. And this is the metalness. I will come back to this metalness. Now let's go to the specular. So this is the specular weight. All the properties you already know. Okay, in software render you already have seen. So this is the specularity, and this is the color of it. The same thing basically we have seen in software render. Suppose this is a little bit pinkish color. You can see you're getting a pinkish color over there. Okay. Most of the cases it will be white only, and this is the roughness. This is very important. When the roughness, this roughness and that roughness is different. Okay, this is the specular roughness. So when the roughness is 0, you can see the specular highlight and the reflection is very sharp when the roughness is 0. I am increasing a little bit, reflection and specular sharpness both are blurred. I am increasing a little bit more, it is converted approximately a matte surface, a kind of matte surface. Remember, in this world, no surface is 100% matte surface. Each and every surface will have a little bit of reflectivity on it. Reflectivity means shininess will be there. So each and every object should have this, but some matte surfaces will have only this much, barely visible, and some will be this much, like you cannot distinguish, like this is the bright area, this is the light dark area, you cannot distinguish, like the entire surface will look the same. Okay, so something like this. Suppose a balloon, you are creating a balloon, so roughness will be very high, isn't it? Approximately this much roughness will be 60% roughness. So you cannot, in a balloon, you cannot see this specular highlight, but that is there, but barely visible. So the specular roughness is going to help you. Okay, and that kind of surface you can get. So very important properties, specular roughness. Drastically, you can change the material, like how the appearance of the material. So like this, very new kind of, it can be a plastic, it can be something very new. Okay, newly painted coat. Okay, so that is the roughness. Now a little bit more. Now the surface is a little bit old, used too much. Okay, becoming old. A little bit more, it has been converted into a kind of fiber. Okay, not anymore a paint coated surface, a kind of a fiber. Okay, then a little bit more, it is going towards the matte surface. I was describing like the balloon. Okay, then more, it is almost like a wall. Okay, can be painted wall, but like a wall. A little bit glossiness is there, but barely visible. The reflection is there, but barely visible. Okay, this roughness, very important. Okay, now the second thing is the IOR, index of reflection. This is also very important. Each and every object will have its own index of reflection. Okay, so let's keep it like this. And index of reflection, let's these are the reflective areas. You can see this is the reflective area. Let's make it 1. Can you see there is a change? Let's make it 1.33. I guess 1.33 is the index of reflection of water. You're getting it? 1.5, 1.4 to 1.6 of glass index of reflection. So it will change. Okay. Then maybe 2. So honey will have much more index of reflection. So what can be done?
Wow.
Radha, can you please switch off your mic? Suppose IOR of source glass. Yes. Glass IOR. Okay, so IOR 1 is of the air. IOR 1.33 I just have given, that is of water. Okay, and glass 1.52. Glass basically 1.4 to 1.6. Okay, index of reflection, wiki. Not too much. We want the list basically. Some metal, index of reflection of metal. This list I was looking for. Okay, here is the entire list. Platinum 2.33, plastic 1.4. Okay, something like this. So oil, all different, but almost 1.4, 1.5, almost all the vials. Oxygen, definitely air, so it will be 1. Liquid oxygen 1.2, index of reflection. Okay, so like this you will get the information from here. Zinc, so the entire list is there. You just Google it, you will get it. Okay, so that is basically IOR, and by default it is 1.5. In plastic we have seen it was 1.4, right? 1.4. Yeah, so this will look like plastic, but plastic roughness will not be 0, but a little bit more. It is looking like paint coated. Plastic will be something like this. Okay, so you just need to observe the real objects, and accordingly you need to work with these properties, and these are very powerful. You can see the roughness IOR, very powerful. And this is the anisotropy. Anisotropy you already have seen in the Maya software index. So anisotropy, can you remember anisotropy? Let's keep it a little like this. Okay, so this kind of specular shading you will get out of anisotropic, and this is the rotation of it, like this. Some objects you can observe in real life, so you can get this kind of specular highlight. So guys, at the very beginning of our texturing lecture, I talked about luminance and chrominance, if you can remember. So the luminance through luminance, I told, like, we can distinguish the materials. Okay, so these are the parameters going to help you to create this basically. Okay, so very, very important, speculate. Then the transmission. Transmission, I will come back a little later. Okay, because this is all about transparency. Subsurface also, I'm coming back. This is something called coat. Suppose a painted coat is there or a specular coat is there. So just check what will happen. I'm just increasing it. Can you see, as if we are getting a coating of the reflection? We don't want anisotropic basically. Let's make it 1.5. Okay, coat is there. So if I go back, can you see specular is 0, but because of the coat, we are getting it. So some cases, what I basically told, like already one material is there and a painting coated on it. So this coat can be used in that, and in that also the roughness, can be manipulated, and IOR also can be manipulated. There is something called sheen. Okay, sheen. Okay, so what I'll do, coat don't want, and specularity we want. Okay. But most of the cases, specularity will be used, a coat will not be used. Some cases coat can be used. Sheen. So what sheen will do? So let's make it red. Just to check what's happening, and increasing the weight. Can you see something over here? That is the sheen. Some of the colors, when you will rotate, you can see the shading of that color, but it is yellow, but you can see the shading of red. Some objects you will find like that. The sheen will be visible. And for the human skin also, sometimes we use sheen specularity. Sheen, okay, or coat. Any one we use, because we generally use two specularity for the human skin. Okay, I guess getting the idea a little bit. This is the sheen. Okay. Now coming to emission. Emission. Okay. So what is basically the emission? Let's check what will happen. Okay. So it is basically illuminating. Can you see? It's illuminating. Even it's illuminating the light also from here. Emission. Okay, it's not that mesh light, it's emission. So some of the objects, suppose a lamp, and the cover of the lamp, it looks like the lamp itself is glowing like the incandescence. So the same property it is, emission. Okay, so suppose the color is towards the yellow. You can see it's looking like a glow, and inside light is there. It's looking like that. So this is emission. Okay. All right. Now let's come back to the specularity, and what I'm going to do. Yes.
The difference between coat and sheen is where it is used.
Sorry.
Difference between coat and sheen, coat and sheen property means. सर कहाँ यूज होता है वो property?
Coat I told you. Coat for the, suppose some objects are there, a paint is coated on it. So in that case, you can use coat. and sheen is a very soft blend of some color. Understood? Like I have given red and I was getting a soft blend of that same color. So for that you are going to use sheen. So like the human skin, there is a soft specularity and there is a highlight of the specularity. It's not the same, it's different. So for that soft specularity, the sheen can be used, and for the highlight, those small dots can be used. Means from the specularity itself can be used, and or from the coat itself it can be used. Okay, so in sheen I can give you more examples. Suppose uh, in some cars you have seen, though it is red, but with that some other color blending is also there. So in that case also sheen can be used. Some metallic paints, that color blending is there in color, so that in those cases sheen can be used. And coat is basically to get the coat of the reflection. So definitely in a painted surface, coat of the reflection will be there. Okay, so I have created another material, and let's keep it over here. Okay, AI standard surface 2, and I'm taking maybe the same color of this. Okay, but this time I am not doing anything but increasing the metalness, or a little less. Can you see the difference between these two? Now this object is a metallic object and this is a plastic. So maybe the yellow color is looking too much exaggerated. It can be any other metallic color. That also will depend, like how much metallicness you need. It can be a painted metal also. Okay, something like this. And 100% metallicness means 100% metal. Not a problem. Like it is coming black because the environment is actually black. So that black environment is being reflected on it. I just converted the background color to it, but actually it is not getting reflected. So the black is getting reflected. So 100% metalness we are getting. So something like this. So through this metalness, uh, you can get something like this. Okay, by using the metalness. So for the metallic objects, this metalness can be used. Okay, now remember, where is the light? Let's check. I'm looking at this object from the back side. Okay, because I wanted the lighting like this from that side. That is the reason. See the reflection difference between these two, the metal object and the kind of plastic object difference. Okay, now this one, I want to convert it into a kind of human skin, leaf, that kind of an object where translucency will be there, means subsurface scattering will be there. Okay, so for that, Let's select the material and let's give a color like human skin. Okay, like the human skin. I have made the weight 1. Now, because inside blood vessels are there, so what will happen? I already described it, that the specular roughness, specular weight, let's make it 0 for now, just to understand what's happening. So light will be absorbed by the surface and it will scatter back the light. Okay, and that scattering back the light will be the color of the blood vessels, means kind of a red. So for that, I'm going to, I told I'm coming after some time, I'm going to this subsurface option, subsurface. Okay, and let's increase a little bit. So you can see some already the white color is there. So white color is getting blended on it. So going to the subsurface color and let's make it kind of red, because the blood vessels will be red. And now you can see the red is becoming blended on this. So without subsurface weight, it was like this. Now with subsurface weight, now too much weight, so only blood vessels are visible now. Okay, so we have to use how much we need basically. Then only it will look like the human skin. And there is something called radius. So according to the size of the object, the radius will depend. So in this, if you go to the front view, you can see one sphere size is 1, 2, 3, 4 grid, means 4 units. Okay, 4 units we are getting. So radius, I'll just decrease a little bit. And can you see it is getting concentrated only on the edge, and we just want that only at the edge it is getting concentrated. And similarly the scaling also, so scaling will depend like how much scaling you need. So radius basically is the focus of it, like small radius or big radius or big radius. So radius I have decreased because this is a very small object, and the scale is how much depth it will go, how much depth it will scatter. Okay, so you know it can be very small. If you are trying to retain some shadow shapes, it will be very small, and you want the specularity, suppose a leaf. In the leaf, like shadow pattern will not be there, it will be almost flooded. But in human being, it will be, you should retain the shadow because of the bones are there inside, so you should retain the shadow. So through scaling, okay, that can be managed to retain the shadow shapes. Okay, and here are some types, like it should be diffusion or it should be random walk. So these are random walk version 2. So these are all basically the calculation of it, different algorithm. So through which algorithm you were trying to create. To me, all three are same basically. So default, I basically don't want to change it. So random walk, that is fine to me. And in this case also, if you want to show some anisotropic, but so far I didn't get any example for this, like anisotropic, what kind of surface I'm going to use it. But suppose some creatures are there, their subsurface is like anisotropic effect is there, like in a line the subsurface is happening. So in that case, you can use anisotropic. Okay, but you can see now only it is becoming a kind of skin tone, right? So weight, if it is a little bit more, so the very much exaggerated, and little bit less. So how much you want to use it, it will depend. But always remember it has to be backlighting condition. Another thing is, whenever you will render with subsurface scattering, this kind of pixels will come. So for that, what you need to do, you have to go to the rendering setting, and okay, I'm not talking about all these, but I'm talking about SSS, subsurface scattering. This this we don't want right now. This has to be more to get a decent result in subsurface scattering. At least 4 it has to be if you are dealing with a character. So very good render quality and very blended render quality you can get from your scene. So still it is rendering. Because I have made it 4, it's taking a little bit too much time. So still rendering. Okay, all right. You can see how much blended result we are getting, smooth result we are getting because of this sampling. Sampling, you are increasing the sample means less pixel, smooth result. But at the same time, increasing the sample means increasing the rendering time. So be very careful with this. By default, it was 2. Anyway. Okay, so like this, just by using AI standard surface, you can create almost 97% materials. Okay, almost all materials can be created by using subsurface scattering. I personally, sorry, by using AI standard surface. I personally use AI standard surface for anything and everything. Human skin also can be created very nicely by using this. Okay. So in this, what I didn't do, when it is done, you are satisfied enough, then you click on the specular weight. Okay, so specular weight, for now, it is looking a little bit too much, and roughness should be a little bit more, but definitely it is very less. It has to be very much blended result. Roughness a little bit more. 0.4, 0.5 should be for the human skin. Okay, and subsurface weight can be a little bit less. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so now it is looking like a flesh. Okay, so this is because of the blue color, definitely it is not looking like a metal, but the reflection is, yes, of a metal, and this is a kind of plastic. I guess you are getting the point. And now okay, why I kept the object in that side, now you will get an idea. See, very difficult to judge like this is a flesh or not, because subsurface scattering is not visible anymore until unless it is a backlighting condition. Suppose you are standing in the train, at the door of the train, okay, and backside the sun is there. So you have noticed so many people, you can see the ears are glowing like red. It's becoming red, the ears. Okay, that is because of the subsurface scattering. All right. So until unless it is a backlighting condition, that redness will not be visible. So here it is looking very blended, very difficult to understand. Though it is looking like flesh, but very difficult to understand it. Okay, but in a backlighting condition, you can get like it is a flesh. Okay, I guess last 20 minutes, I will talk next day more about the materials. Okay, some things are still remaining, some properties are still remaining. Next day we'll talk about that, and today last 20 minutes we can discuss a little bit about the projects. Okay. Yes, Sagar, Maya utilities can be used. Some utilities I also will show you guys. Okay, so guys, now please come up with your concepts. Yes, please. We'll start. Come on, quickly. We'll start.